Hi guys, my name is Karime. Um, I'm pretty new to this, so I'm sorry if I guess I don't know how to introduce myself. Or I guess the concept of this. Um, well, I guess we can start off with hi. My name is Karime, and I've recently just figured out I need something new to do in my life. um, Out of all the side quests, things that I have gone out of my way to learn, um, I feel like I want to start something new, something that I enjoy. And one thing that I enjoy to do is yap. I love to talk. I love to talk about anything, to be honest. Give me a subject and we could talk about it. um, but I guess I kind of just wanted to make this channel not just for myself, but to hear other people's opinions, so people could hear my opinions, I could hear others. I'm a very open-minded person. I'm willing to hear people's disagreements and their different point of view of things. And I'm kind of just excited to see where this goes because I also want to look back at these and see how much I've grown as a person, or how my opinion on a subject has changed. I think this could be very good for me because it could help me be more in tune, not just with my own feelings, but with other people's feelings and situations. And um, I'm not sure exactly what this channel will be, but I guess I'm just gonna go with it. I'm really not going into this with a bunch of expectations, of blowing up. But I think it would be good at least to put my opinion out there, and who knows, maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Um, yeah. So today's subject today is about love. Talking about this for some reason makes me emotional. I don't know why, it has been very heavy on my heart. I guess the concept of love has just been very difficult for me for the past, I'd say, 4 years. I used to think our purpose in this world was to find love, but I had to eventually learn that our purpose isn't to find love, it's to be love. It's to be the reflection of love we've always wanted for ourselves. And I hope that makes sense. Um, for a long time, I didn't give myself the grace that I needed, the love that I needed, the love that I seeked in others. Instead of seeking that for myself, I was trying to find that in other people. And I know it sounds crazy, especially I'm young, and it's like, why are you talking about love? Like, girl, what do you know about love? And I'm gonna be real with you, I know nothing about love because I don't think I've ever been in love. And I think I have been in love, but not in the sense that I knew this person was down, like, good for me. Like, I didn't know how to love. The way I was introduced to love, or the word I love you, the words I love you, it was kind of just so sudden. I remember the first time someone said I love you to me, and it was kind of just thrown out there. I'm gonna be honest, growing up, I had a very huge fantasy that I was gonna meet my prince, and like, love was gonna be, yes, it was gonna be hard, but it was gonna be easy. Your girl watched a lot of movies. So I guess eventually I made this whole narrative in my head of what love is supposed to be. When I was told I love you, I remember being so excited. so excited because someone actually said they loved me, someone that I actually really liked, someone that I enjoyed spending my time with. And I remember just being so confused. Because I was like, wait, like in movies and things that I see, I don't think you're supposed to be saying you love me in that way. But I was so young and so excited of the situation that I allowed it. I mean, I was happy. I was having the time of my life. I was like, he loved me. I was just so wrapped up in this whole, wanting to be with somebody. But in reality, I didn't know the actual commitment that comes with loving somebody. I didn't know love wasn't just an emotion, it was the dedication that you have for somebody. And, you know, I've definitely been hurt a couple times in my life, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never hurt anybody. And I think when I hurt people is because I did not know how to receive the love that they were giving me or take care of it. Handle it with care, handle it with love. Um, I remember there was a time where, like, I lost my sister, but I did not know how to approach people that I loved about my situation. I kind of just didn't want to feel like I was a problem. When I tell the people that I love what I was going through, I could tell like they did not know what to tell me. They did not know how to help me. They did not know what to do with me. um, and then I just went to this state in my head where it's like, if I genuinely felt like no one understood me, no one wanted to be there for me, but in reality, people just didn't know what to say to me. I was asking so much all in once, and people were obviously people that didn't ever experience that feeling. They did not know how to understand where I was coming from. And I hurt people throughout the process. I hurt family, I hurt friends, I hurt loved ones, people that loved me relationship wise, because I was so wrapped up in this selfish mindset that no one loved me the way I needed them to. And I don't know if that makes sense. It still doesn't make sense now thinking about it, but then at the time, like, that's how I felt. I felt like no one really understood what I was going through, and no one had the patience to really understand what I was going through. I have cheated, I have lied, I have manipulated, I have done a lot of stuff out of hurt. I'm not proud of any of the things that I did, but definitely when I look back at it and I see who I am now, at the time I didn't understand what I was going through and why I was going through it, but now I look back and I'm grateful that I went through it. It sucks to say that I hurt people through the process and people hurt me through the process, but unfortunately that's how life is, and I have to understand that sometimes the people that are in your life, they're not meant to be there forever. Sometimes those people are just meant to be in your life to show you something, show you love, show you maybe a true, genuine friendship, maybe show you that people really are low key evil out there sometimes. But we may not understand it now, but when we look back at it, we will. We will, it will make sense to us. But I guess just, I was so hard on myself back then on receiving love and giving love. I did not know how to give love. Since the first time I was told I love you, I thought that's how you say I love you to someone. You maybe crack a little joke and be like, I love you. Or, you just throw it out there out of nowhere. So I thought that's how really like I love you meant to me, because I didn't know what love was. Once someone showed interest in me and I really, really like somebody, um, I would just blur out I love you and it would freak them out. And I wake up next day ghosted. Yeah, and that's hard truth, but I mean, that's what happens when you just be rushing things, and that's what happens when you don't know what weight the words carry. Love is something so beautiful, and unfortunately, I don't think I've experienced it yet. But before, I used to be in such a rush to experience it, and now I'm not. You know, and it's hard. I feel like we make love for ourselves and for others so hard because we don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to receive it. We don't know how to give it. And it could either tie back to family, when you grow up with a family that isn't very emotionally aware. They don't want to talk about each other's emotions and they're all very closed off, or, just things that you haven't been taught, things that you're not used to. And once you're not used to something and it happens, it freaks you out. You know, I did not know how to show my love. And the way I thought to show love was to either say I love you or show love in a sexual way. And one thing that I will say on here, I have gotten to a point where I really don't care what people think. I'm going to sit here and be brutally honest about things that I've done and things that have happened. You know, not because I'm proud of it, because I think what's the shame of it, what's the point of not telling the truth about things the way they actually happen? Because I want to, as myself, I want to understand where I used to be and how I am now. And I also want people to understand the way things have led on, I guess you could say. I feel like this could be a really good growing process for me, because I want to be able to talk about things that I have struggled with, and what a better way of doing that by just being completely honest with you guys. If you're gonna judge me, I don't care. I've lived a good amount of years of being judged over things that I've done, and I used to want to give people the time and day of explaining them, but in reality, why should I if they never even were willing to understand where I came from? They just went from what they heard and went with it. You feel me? Um, and that's something that I just gotta accept. People are gonna have their own opinions about everybody. Like, there's nothing to do about it. And honestly, I don't care. So, yeah. When it came down to wanting to find love, I felt like I looked for it in the wrong places. I thought obsession was love. I thought toxicity was love. And I remember when I first had my first, I guess, relationship or whatever, real relationship where I saw this person, I remember I started realizing that I slowly wanted to change myself in order to keep this person in my life. And it was hard because I've always grown up to be very friendly. Not in the way that we have created friendly, flirty, no. I was known to have a lot of friends, guys and girls. Um, I always cracked jokes with my guy friends. Like, we used to say your mama jokes. Like, I used to have friends, like, friends. But then all of a sudden, we started creating this thing where, like, guys and girls cannot be friends, you know? And in certain cases, sometimes some of y'all can't be friends because, people don't be respecting other people's boundaries. But me, on the other hand, I knew my friends. I knew my friends wanted to actually stay as my friend. They supported me, they were with me and stuff. But I was so in love with this person, I was willing to change anything and everything about myself to keep this person. And I remember when I cut off friends and, you know, made my circle smaller, made myself smaller for this person. I remember being so sad because I knew deep down that's not who I was. I knew deep down that's not who I wanted to be. I'm the type to want to have friends, hang out with them, maybe bring my partner with me. I will always envision this thing in my head where my partner and my friends just become one, and like I'm inviting two of my worlds are colliding. And I remember trying to explain the part where I want you to talk to my friends, and he was like, "Why? Like, they're your like, nah, I wouldn't talk to them. Like, they're your girlfriend. Like, why would I talk to your friends?" I'm like, "Because like they're my friends. Like I want you. I want us to all get along. I want us to get to know each other." And I remember just having to change the way my thought process was because I was getting treated that way. I remember slowly becoming toxic because in my head I thought, well, if you're doing this towards me, if you're acting like this towards me, if you're not letting me do certain things, then what makes, like, that's not fair, then you can't do it. So I started picking up on this person's habits. What they told me, I was like, okay, same applies to you. You can't have any girlfriends. You can't follow this. You can't do that. You can't do that. All the things that this person didn't let me do, I said, okay, touche. You can't do it either. Like, but I remember just being so miserable too because just a constant having to match this person's energy because they were doing it to me was so draining, because in reality I did not care. In reality, I did not care who this person was friends with as long as they respected my boundary and that friend respected us. um, I didn't care. I didn't care who this person followed. I didn't care what this person posted. I really did not care. But I started caring because this person was caring so much about what I was doing. And the more I started picking up on this strange behavior that I was slowly reflecting on and copying, I started realizing that I didn't like that for myself. So once I started trying to change it, set boundaries, but also, you know, I was always considered weird. Everyone knows how I hate being called weird. Not as in a way like, girl, you're so weird. Like, I am weird. I'm quirky. I be doing dumb stuff. But when it's you're calling me weird because apparently I'm moving weird, it triggers me. My best friend knows I hate being called weird because when someone calls me weird, I'm like, who weird? Who's weird? I'm not weird. You're weird. Like I used to get real defensive when someone called me weird. But I remember once I set this specific boundary that I knew deep down I could overcome it. I want to start growing as a couple, as a person, as you know, they called me weird because I wanted to have friends, and I told them you could have friends too. And I feel like the difficult part of it was just kind of like trying to explain that I was my thought process was changing. I felt like I found myself always trying to express a certain level that I'm learning. But it was hard to explain it, especially when everyone around somebody that I was trying to explain a boundary, it didn't make sense to them either. So once this person starts hearing and what other people think, I really do think that gets in your head, and I feel like that is really bad. Like, we should really stop telling people, you know, situations that we got going on with our partners, because then opinions form, and then the person not liking you forms. Like, the person that you're with, their circle starts not to like you, and it just becomes this whole thing, and like, it's draining. But I also feel like my self-respect played out a lot. I feel like sometimes we tend to push back our self-respect because how much we want to keep someone in our lives. And I think that's the hardest thing, because as much as you think you love somebody, if you're slowly realizing that you have to change and do stuff that make you uncomfortable, do stuff that isn't you, and if we're changing them to keep this person, what makes you think that person's for you? What makes you think? And I'm not trying to say, like, it's not good to change. I'm saying change in a way that you're growing as a person, not going back. Change is difficult. Change is something that happens every day. You're a new things happen every day every day. Change is change. Changing is changing. Everything's changing. The world's changing. People are changing. Um so why stay on the same toxic trait, that is bad for you, your partner, your friend, and continue doing it knowing that it doesn't make you happy? Knowing that it's slowly making you lose yourself. And I truly believe that I lost myself for a long time. And I'm not just saying that plays out with love with partners, I'm saying with friends, with family, and I've definitely have experienced that type of pain when you realize that you're slowly outgrowing someone that you used to love, you know. And I feel like when it comes down to love in a partner way, we've been sold on this idea of a fairy tale type of love ending, like love story ending. And we completely ignore the parts that actually get hard when you love somebody. And I don't want to confuse the part where, love is going to be hard, love is going to be complicated. If it is overly complicated, nah, like that should not be, you know, love shouldn't have you confused. Love shouldn't have you crying every day. Love shouldn't have you becoming the worst version of yourself. Love should have you becoming the best version of yourself. Unfortunately, the way I saw love, I thought I had to give up my body to show someone love. I didn't know that love comes through the peace. Love is a person not rushing you. And I'm not sitting here blaming someone that they rushed me or anything. I just feel like I knew deep down I wasn't ready for that type of intimacy. And I hate there's days I do regret that it happened because it formed a certain habit for me because I thought, um, well, if this person, I really like this person, so I'm going to show them something. I'm going to show them love. And I'm going to show them this form of love because that's how I was taught. And, I remember thinking this way of love, intimacy, sexual intimacy, I thought that would keep a person. I thought it made them happy. I thought that's what we needed to form a relationship, to grow as a person. But eventually, I realized the pain that it carried after, especially when I realized that person didn't want to be with me. It made me feel used. It made me feel empty. It made me feel defeated because I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand why a person would leave after I do that. And that's a hard truth sometimes to figure out. But I feel like that's what sometimes some people need to go through. I'm not saying everybody, um, but when you realize it later, you'll realize that you don't got to be so hard on yourself. Um, I feel like love teaches you to honor your own needs and to communicate them clearly. I feel like love is patient. Obviously, love is kind. But also, love should feel like actually, I don't know. I know, the basics, how love is supposed to look like, but I really don't know what it feels like. And I don't want to sit here and give you guys a false idea of what I think love feels like because in reality, I don't know what love feels like. I don't think I've reached that point yet. There's been times where I thought I love somebody. We have my dog. Yeah. I don't want to sit here and tell you guys I know what love feels like. I have an idea of what love looks like and what it should be given, what it should come with, but I don't know what love feels like. I thought I did. Or I thought I'd been close to feeling love, but I will really know when I love somebody when I know this person is good for me and they make me just do good choices and become a better person. I've been in love, but I haven't been in love. And I know that does not make sense. And I know I will look back at this and hopefully maybe if I ever make another video about love, like I'll have a different opinion. Or maybe I'll have experienced love at some point. I guess the idea that I have for me to love somebody is um, not just. I feel like when I'm ready to love somebody or I'm ready to give love, I want to become a better version of myself. So when this person, whoever, comes into my life, they're not going to be entirely my happiness. And I don't want you guys to mix that up with like I'm just going to have that person and like they're just there. Like, no. I want to give myself for now the grace and love that I've always wanted from anyone. I want to give myself my flowers. I want to take myself out to date on a date. I want to do all the things that I have ever wanted someone to give me. I'm going to give it to myself. Because I have found myself in situations. I'll even talk about this. It was recently. I thought I was ready. I think I was. I don't know. I was willing to try something new. Um, I had a good time. I actually had a great time. I got treated the way I've been wanting to get treated for a long time. I was happy. I felt loved. I felt appreciated. I felt heard. I felt seen. But I guess um, the red flag in it was just how fast everything was happening. It felt rushed, but I was so blinded in the thrill of what we could be, where this could go, that I was kind of allowing all of it to move very fast. But I also knew, like, even though I was already doing good with myself, I knew, not knew, I felt like this person made me want to be an even better woman or young woman, you know, um, not just for myself, but for them. I wanted them to have a better version of me. And it was hard because I also knew I had to let go of certain habits that I had of overthinking or, having this constant mindset of I'm gonna do it to you before you do it to me, kind of break my heart type of thing. Like, I really wanted to go about this correctly. I wanted to make sure I set boundaries. Look, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, you know. And I will give myself props because I really feel like this time I was very intentional on what I wanted and how I wanted things to play out. And when this, I guess, relationship didn't work out, I found myself still being disappointed in myself. And that's something that I never ever want another guy to make me feel. Because I still went out of my way, and I hope, I hope I made them feel loved. I did what I could. I did what I wanted to. I gave them a shoulder to talk to, not even cry on, not really, but a shoulder to talk to. Um, some advice, some joy. I think we shared a good amount of joy at some point. But I felt disappointed in myself because, yes, I'm proud of myself. I set the boundaries. I didn't do what I'm usually used to doing. I wasn't toxic. I was very intentional. But I guess because I put my guard down a little bit. And I've kind of learned this, and I think I want to start doing this now. You guys could disagree or agree with me or not, or maybe you'll understand, but sometimes there are certain conversations that are not needed to be had yet. Um, there are certain topics that I have learned that it's hard for me to talk about because once someone leaves me, or once someone left me, especially when I would open up to them about something, I'd feel very defeated. I felt very betrayed. I used to just question, be like, how could you leave me after I told you something so sacred to me? I don't even know why I'm crying about this. It's kind of weird. Sorry, y'all. I guess I just get kind of emotional when I think about myself. um, I was very disappointed on myself this time because I was very intentional. I reached a point where I know what I want, I know what I don't want to do in order to keep someone in my life, and I just know that I want to have someone that is just making my world a little bit better. Not someone that I have fully centered my whole happiness, my life, and everything into them, you know? Because once I do that, then I lose myself. I guess what makes me sad about the situation is because I was really happy, but also so blinded of how happy I was that I wasn't really seeing the problem in the relationship. I don't like having to put my guard down, and I don't like when someone looks me in the face and tells me to put my guard down just for them to get up and leave, you know? I think that is a very hard thing for me to do because I'm used to opening up and people leaving. And, you know, that's something that I cannot be hard on myself for because I didn't do no wrong. I did what I could. I gave the love that I could, you know, but that's honestly all I could do. That's all I could have done. Like, you know, and it didn't work out, and I just had to accept that it didn't work out. But I also can't be putting myself down because someone left, you know. That's how life is. People go in and out of your life. It just really depends how you handle it, and I think I want to start handling it different. I think I'm doing pretty good, you know. Yeah, I be crashing out a little about everything, but what's the point? What's the point of giving people the energy that never really deserved your energy? Um, yeah, I'll shed a couple tears here and there, but I promised myself this. I'm never gonna beg another person to stay in my life, to do better. Yeah, maybe I'll suggest it and be like, look, this is what I think you should do, you know? Because I want to see someone grow. I want to see someone become a better version of themselves. But I'm not here to fix nobody. I'm not here to mother somebody. Yeah, I'm not like, you know, like I'm not here to baby anybody, basically. But I'm also not expecting someone that has the whole world, like they know what to do, like they have everything right, they're perfect. Like, no, I'm the type of person that I will love you through your flaws, through anything that you're struggling with. But as long as I see that ambition that you have to become a better person, that you're actually putting works into becoming a better person, then I will absolutely love that, and I will always be there by your side to hype you up, basically. But I've also learned that there is no point in me sitting here and just trying to wonder what went wrong. I don't think that's fair to me. I don't think that's something I should live with, because why live with this constant what if and why and where? When did it go wrong, you know? Why keep constantly looking for the type of closure that I'm probably never gonna get? And that's okay. Um, I'm the type to believe if the way they did you is already closure enough. Yeah. The way you easily get cut off, that's the closure. That's your closure. That's what you needed to, that's it. Like, and that's okay. Because as long as you know that you gave your all, you did what you could, then that's all that matters. But love is, I feel like sometimes we make that so hard for ourselves. And I don't know why. I don't know why we make love so hard for ourselves. I guess it's the fear, but I feel like the fear is what makes it so much kind of exciting sometimes. It's like I'm scared of talking to this person, but I'm also so excited to see where it goes. And I feel like our choices don't just shape our journey, they define the type of world that we want to live in. And I feel like the kind of world I want to live in is just peace. I want peace. I know there's going to be chaos in the world, but as long as I have internal peace within myself and with God, then I feel like that could take me a really long way. And I feel like when you commit to love, you're just not existing. You're radiating like this light into this world that so much, like, it needs so much more love. This world is filled with a bunch of heartbroken people and a lot of hatred. And sometimes you're gonna give love to people and they're gonna be like, they're gonna reject it on the quicks because they just don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to receive it. But who knows, you probably planted a seed for that person. You probably made their day, even if they're still angry and they just have this snarky, grumpy attitude. But they'll probably look back and just be grateful that you said a nice comment to them, showed them love. Or at least are the reason. Sometimes you could be the reason to someone wanting to grow and become a better person. Love is beautiful, but love is something that it'll come. And I don't know when it'll come, but I'm all for it. I'm all for it to, give love, make new friends, better my relationship with my family. And when it comes down to relationship love, that's something that I don't know when will come. That's a feeling that I don't know when I'll feel or with who I'll feel it with. But I just know for now I have a goal for myself, and all I know is I just want to become a better version of myself every day. I want to stop habits that I have that I know aren't good. I want to stop the way I carry myself sometimes, or the way I let certain comments, certain things, certain insecurities that I have formed in my head. I want them to go away because I know I'm just so much more than that. I'm much more than just a body. I'm much more than just a face. And I hope everyone else remembers that. Tell yourself that. If you feel like you're struggling with love, you're not the only one. But I feel like if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know if this is love, I don't know, search it up. Dig into what you think, to what you learn, what love should feel like. The good type of love. Read your Bible. I feel like in the Bible, love is explained in a beautiful way. And kind of reflect on it. Think about it. Is the way I've learned what love is that what I have right now in my life? With myself, with my partner, with my family, with my friends. just think about it all around, like, you know. But I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see if this changes, my opinion changes throughout the years, throughout the months. And you guys will definitely get more videos. I don't know when, I don't know how often all of this would be, but definitely it's something that we're gonna start doing. Um, give me opinions. Give me what you guys think. Give me a topic. I really don't. I don't mind talking about anything. Um, you guys could listen to this like in a podcast, maybe in the background while y'all getting ready, or who knows, who knows, y'all. But I just want to have fun with this, and I definitely think it's a good thing for me because I'm reflecting the more I talk. So yes, I'm excited. So yeah, I'll hit you guys back up in the next video, I guess. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. Um, and let me know what y'all think.